So today I'm currently on the way to fill up because I have I imagine I've put it in the title, the fact that I went and bought the UK's cheapest running Nissan 350Z. The issue is it's a little bit outside of London and I live near Wolverhampton, so near London is kind of a distance for me, so it's about a 2 hour drive there, 2 hour drive back. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it just yet, I'll say how much I paid for it at the end of the video. Apparently, according to the description and photos and the walk around video the bloke showed me, everything is sweet, everything is as it should be. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go and fill up, get ready, and I'm going to hit the roads, hit the motorway, and I'll see you guys when we're down there. So back at the units, we've got the car back, but there's been a few other issues with other cars at the moment, so I'll quickly give you a quick walkthrough before I show off the 350. This is my 1990 Rev 1 MR2 Turbo. If you want to see something on this car, maybe just a walk around like I've done on the SCIROCCO whatnot, because this is a fairly rare car. This is also an import as well, lived its first few years in Japan. If you want to see something on that, then just let me know about that one, because that one is, I'll be a bit excited to film something on that, because I think that car is beautiful. Got my dad's red Golf GTI here. It's currently missing its full leg, spring broke on it, but that's not the bad bit, it's this puppy. My SCIROCCO is currently on the ramp, just doing VW things at the moment. We don't know why. We had to tow it in yesterday on the way back. Funnily enough, the 2016 SCIROCCO with just under 50k miles on didn't last as long as the 2002 350Z with double its miles. So I don't know. I'm hoping it is the drive shaft that's broke. If not, it's the gearbox, and that's the second time this gearbox has went on me. It's frustrating for this, because I do love the SCIROCCO, but it just caused me some issues, and you know, it's one of them. Now onto this puppy. I did just show you the cold start of it. It sounds beautiful, it being a 3.5 V6 petrol. I'll give you a quick walk around of it in just one moment, show you the front. So now in terms of this car, it's a beautiful car. It's a 3.5 V6 petrol in it, naturally aspirated. Apparently from factory, these do put out about 276-ish brake horsepower and about 350 Newton meters of torque. Looking on other websites that state the power figures of the cars, they've also agreed, actually tested. But 280 brake out of an NA, I know it's got a fairly big, well, it's got a massive engine in the under there. I'll get onto the engine in just a second. Now, the thing that actually intrigued me about this car is the fact that, one, it's an import, and two, the fact that it's completely unmodified, and that for me is a big one. But this doesn't have anything on it, not even an induction kit, not the alloys, I believe, are stock, although he's put some Nismo stickers on there on each wheel and some Nismo stickers there, and I will take them off because, quite frankly, I don't really like it. I done a HPI check of the car. It's not stolen, it's not crashed, it's perfectly fine. There's no indication of dodgy miles or anything. It's as described, to be fair. I did pick this up for a bargain with the intentions of not a clue what I want to do with the thing. Unfortunately, I'm at the age where insuring a 3.5 V6 is going to be my arm and my left leg, so probably keeping it as a car that I want to drive and enjoy a little bit might not be the best decision, but maybe for a track car or a drift car that might be. However, I don't know how to drift, and I've only been to a few tracks in my life, so I'm sitting on some nice 18-inch alloys. However, these wheels aren't that bad, to be fair. They're not disgustingly ugly. If these are the factory wheels, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they am. Because, to be fair, it does sit pretty flush on the stock suspension anyway. I mean, there's still a bit of a gap. There's 2-finger gap there. It's not as impractical as my SCIROCCO. This will go over speed bumps without giving me whiplash and bottoming out my front splitter, so I can't moan at it. It was actually a joy to drive back yesterday. I had to drive back 2 hours, I believe, from Amersham. I was just outside of London by Watford, and we sat on the motorway happy, willy-nilly, so I can't moan. No bumps, no knocks. It was generally described, it's the car that was described in the description. For the price I paid, it's like, you're a bit sceptical about it, thinking, oh, they're hiding stuff in it, but it's been pretty bang on so far. If we move on to the rear as well, I have saw some that have they have both the exits on the left side. This one has both twin exits, so that's one thing I actually really like. Them a little bit corroded around the tips, but yet again, it's a 52 plate car. It's 22 years old. You know, it's not going to be perfect like you left the showroom. There's a few scuffs on the bumper just here. I don't know if the camera just pick it up just very faintly. There's nothing too major, to be fair. That's literally just from driving it, I imagine. So I can't moan at that. Again, it's 22 years old. It's not going to be in showroom condition, is it? Unless if someone's dry stored it for them years. Now this is where it gets good, because the car's an import. So a lot of cars, well, some cars have all been converted over. This hasn't. The sat nav here is telling me I'm in Japan still. I'm not in Japan. I'm in England. And I don't understand these buttons, what these do. I'm sure there's a way out there on the forums. I haven't looked just yet on how to convert it all. But if I click this, it speaks to me in Japanese. So I thought that was quite cool. I had a bit of a laugh at that. It's got the heated seats. What I'm happy about, because my SCIROCCO doesn't even have heated seats, and this does, and they do work with them on the nice leather seats. They're a little bit cracked, but nothing too bad. It's sitting on 103,000 miles. We done 130 miles in it yesterday, and it's perfectly fine, no problems. It is thirsty. It's really thirsty. It was on empty. We put 40 quid in, gone up to half. What's not terrible. It was at Shell, and now it's drank a quarter on the way back, but that was motorway miles, so probably around the streets probably won't be as good. It's got the oil pressure sensor there, and it's got some for the battery and the volts there. It's running on 14 volts at the moment. What should be, that's the normal voltage for a car running. And then the oil pressure, when it's on the motorway, it should be sitting at about 4ish, and it didn't drop below 4. Well, it sat between just over 4 and just below 4, what's normal for it. Now on the third gauge there is the temperature. However, I don't know how to change it, because when I was driving yesterday, it was telling me my speed, so it was like a digital speedometer, but it kept changing on the motorway. And say if you're doing 70 on the motorway, it will say you're doing 70 miles an hour, but in kilometers, this is where it gets confusing, because 60 miles per hour is 100 kilometers an hour, but that is telling me I'm doing 70 kilometers an hour when really it's miles per hour. So it's hard to explain, but that's the best way I can explain it really. It's not confusing once you won't actually understand it. You just think, oh, it's miles per hour, but it's saying it's in kilometers an hour when it's not. It fried my brain trying to explain that, to be fair. I've got the standard radio in it, climate control, air con as well. So it's pretty well spec'd, I believe. I think it is the GT model. I think he said in the description. I'm not 1,000,000% sure on that one, so don't quote me on that. Cup holders there, storing my McDonald's because I was hungry last night. Storing my McDonald's, and then a bit of other storage there for like keys. That's just a lot at the moment I've got for the work. You could actually fit 2 large McDonald's cups in here, to be fair, so it's not that bad. But when you're driving and you just want to grab a drink, you actually have to like bend your arm madly to grab it and then put it back, and then putting it back to a whole different story while you're driving. So they could have probably done a little bit better on that, but I can't fault it really. This is the automatic version as well. It is the 5-speed auto, and you can also put it in manual mode, what is pretty sweet. One of the biggest arguments in cars is, do you like auto or do you like manual? And I've always preferred auto, but auto DSGs in the VW Audis, I love that gearbox when they're running right. Obviously it's not running right at the moment. However, in Jap stuff, the MR2 Turbo, that is manual, and I couldn't think of that car as an auto, because back in the old days, back in 2002, 1990, them Slushmatics, and they're nowhere near as quick, they don't sound as nice, you know. Them compared this to a manual, it's not as nice. I believe the manual's in 6 speeds as well. This is only a 5-speed, so at the motorway it sits between like 2.5 to 3k, and I think that is actually how the old Japanese cars used to run doing long miles. So if we look behind us, we can see the boot. The boot is fairly big. I'll show you the boot in a second. It's got like 2 sort of storage compartments. I'll explain it in a second when I go outside. We've got 2 stereos there, one there, one there. There was actually a DVD in there. I don't know what someone's done with it, but also there's more storage compartments down there on either side, I believe. I don't know if that can see. So they've thought of it. Nissan's done well. We've always been more of a Toyota family when it comes to the old Jap stuff. My dad growing up used to have all the Sleekers, the MR2s, everything Toyota. He was never big on Nissan, but this I think is actually the first old Nissan we've had. Now, in terms of the boot, I don't know exactly how many litres it holds, all that stuff. However, it is a pretty spacious boot. If you was going to do an airport run, for size it's a 2-seater, so it's probably not ideal, but due to this little brace thing, I don't think suitcases really can fit in. Maybe one, but you'll take up all the room, so probably isn't the best thing to go to airport in. But if you was going shopping or whatnot, then I imagine it's perfectly fine. We checked under the floorboard. It's still got its spare wheel, and there's no corrosion either in the spare wheel arch, what's quite good, because these cars, they do all corrode eventually, you know, it's natural. But all the sills are good as well. All the wheel arches are perfectly fine as well. It is pretty mint, if I say so myself. In terms of the headlights as well, actually, they are the bi-xenon headlights, so they're nice, bright, white lights, and I think they actually look fairly nice. I can try and turn it on for you in just a second. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that because it's an import, the indicator is on the right side. Let's see if you can see that. And then the lights and the washers are on this side. So I clicked when trying to indicate, I was using my washers quite a lot yesterday. So if I turn these lights on, I'll show you. But they do look fairly alright for its age. You know, they don't need polishing as much. Maybe go over this one slight bit, but it's nothing too bad. Nothing that the mop wouldn't bring up. But now for the good stuff, the engine. So for you that don't know, the 350Z is a 3.5 naturally aspirated V6. This is the beauty here. It's quite loud, to be fair, so I'm going to try and speak up. It doesn't even have as much as a cone filter on it. It's just bog standard stock what really put me interested in this car. It sounds mint as well. There's no knocks, no bangs, there's nothing. It runs and drives exactly how it should. In terms of rubber, it's still got all the rubber around the bonnet, it's got all the rubber around the side of the engine. The owner itself has kept this car pretty clean, you know, he's looked after it well and proper. I believe it's got a few owners. I think it's got 5 owners while it's been in England, I believe. I don't know how the HO works on imports, because this was a 52 plate car, so 2002, and it came over in the country in 2007. So I'm not too sure if it counts the owners from Japan or not, but in England definitely it's had 5 owners. This car sounds unreal, to be fair. It sounds beautiful. All I know about the 350Zs is the fact they've got a beautiful engine, the rear wheel drive, and they don't look that bad. Some people might say they look ugly, some people might say they look beautiful. I'm in the middle with it. I don't think it looks beautiful, but I don't think it's the worst looking car I've ever seen, to be fair. I do also want to say a massive thank you to the support I got on my first video. I didn't expect it to do nowhere near as well as it did. It got, at this current moment in time, so it's currently 20 to 3 on Sunday. It's been out for 4 days, 18 hours. It's got 4.8 thousand views, and it has also got 342 likes, and it's got a quite chunk of comments as well. I do like interacting with you guys watching. I like you asking questions, I like answering the questions personally. I also like the criticism I get as well. If you think I could have done something better, I'd obviously like to know. This week alone I've got 106 subscribers from that video, I believe, alone, and for me I've got 647, so that's like a 1/6 of my channel. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you for the support I've been getting. It does mean a lot to me, but I'm sure everybody would like to know exactly how much I paid for this car. So looking on Auto Trader, they're about 6,950, 7,000, 5,000, you know, so roughly between the 5,000 and 7,000 mark. That is the medium for it. I paid a whopping £2,450 this Nissan 350Z. I believe that is a pretty good price, to be fair, considering the fact it is under half of what the other 350Zs I'm going on for Auto Trader. I am going to have a look over it at work Monday. I've got the Golf to fix the spring, that's already off. I'm just waiting for a top mount on it, and we've got to find out what's actually wrong with the SCIROCCO. I'm hoping it's not gearbox. I'm really hoping it's not gearbox, otherwise I'm going to be quite disappointed with the car. But yeah, I've got to go and try and figure out how to put this into English. Obviously I'm still going to have all these. There's also, as well, what I figured out, if I click phone, that changes, and it starts speaking to me in a second. Talk to me in Japanese, love it. I can't understand what you're saying. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see on this video. If you want to see anything in particular on the SCIROCCO, then please let me know and I'll get it out for you. And also, if you want to see the MR2 as well, because I'd like to do a video on that, so I just want to see what you guys think first. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.